Aloha, everyone, and aloha, everyone coming in.
Hey.
Aloha to the lurkers. Aloha to anyone watching the playback. Um, so while we're waiting for people to kind of mosey on in, hi, Ange.
Hey.
Oh, Mosaic's here. Hello. And Peekaboo Rose. Hi, Julie.
Julie.
Oh, lunch break's over in 9 minutes. Well, that's what you have playbacks for, right?
Uh-oh, Mo.
Or you
Poor
can just
Mosaic.
right. So before we get into what is charm casting, maybe we can hear a little bit of background. I know, Ange, you've been doing it for quite a while, so let's start with you.
All right. Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's the first time that I'm with Hershe, so it's really nice to be with her as well. Yeah, charms. Charms are my jam. I love charms. So when you invited me onto this live, I was pumped. I was like, yes. Like, it's hard to find, for me, it's hard to find people who use this in their regular practice. I mean, a lot of people I know, they're like, oh yeah, I have charms. I just don't use them. I don't know how to use them. Or some people are like, hey, I'd be interested in doing it, but I have no idea where to start. So somebody that actually is interested in it and has played around with it, even if you're just beginning, I'm here for it. So yeah, for those who don't know, my name is Ange. I have a YouTube channel. Hey, Amanda. My YouTube channel is Roots&Waves, and yeah, I'm a layered reader. And so what that means is I take tarot and oracle cards and I do readings, and then I sprinkle charms on top of them, and that is part of the reading. And so it just gives it more depth, it gives it more layer. And I think it's so much fun because like I'm a tactile person, so I just like all the tiny little toys to play with too. It's so much fun. So yeah, how did I get started with it? Honestly, when I was a young girl with like the Barbie toys and the miniature dollhouse crap, all that stuff, I didn't call it divination back then because I didn't know that's what that was. But I absolutely was playing with it in that way, in that divinatory way. And so in my large charm kit that I have, my collection, there are still those little toys from childhood, some of the Barbie things and some of the little toys. And then of course it's just grown over the years, things that I've found, bought, and things that people have given me. Some of the most fun ones are things I found in like parking lots and like secondhand stores. I just love the sort of energy that each little trinket that I have has in my collection. Like it all has a meaning to it. So yeah, that's just like a general overall of how I got started. And
now you have the bowl.
The huge bowl.
Wow.
Like, bigger than my head, and it's really deep.
And it's full.
Yeah. So it's that's a lifetime of collecting. Like I'm 42 now, so that's literally a lifetime of collecting. But and you know, a lot of people might be overwhelmed, like how in the hell do you have meanings for all of those? But you know, kind of like we were talking about backstage, it's symbolism. It's all symbolism. So yeah, so you can have like a core meaning to each charm because it's important when you're doing readings. But honestly, no different than if you're pulling like an oracle card, you're going to get those intuitive hits based off the images that you're seeing within the card. So sure, every card has a meaning, but you're going to go with your intuitive hits too, right? So I would say being eclectic is probably the most fun thing about charm casting. So
yeah. Oh, definitely. And you have probably the best charm collection I've ever seen. So.
It's fun.
So Hershe, I know that charm casting is pretty new for you because I'm pretty sure I bought you your first charm kit. So
you did. You did. Happy birthday
told me
to
that
me.
once I got you one kit, suddenly other kits started showing up.
Oh my gosh. So first, let me say, Ange, it's very nice to meet you. And I'm sorry, I was busy. This was more interesting backstage. I apologize.
Yeah.
We'll talk afterwards. I'm not that rude usually. But I'm so glad I get this opportunity. Anytime Jonathan hits me up, I'm like clearing calendars and shoveling people, and hell yeah, I'm coming. So, oh my God. So for my birthday, I had a zillion things on my wish list, and Charmed wasn't it, y'all. Charms wasn't it. But a friend of mine was like, just throw a set on there just for fun. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, I got a set from Jonathan for my birthday. And then right after that, someone sent me 400 piece set. And then after that, someone sent me like a 50 piece set. And then right after that, I got yet another set. And I'm like, wait, stop.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see it. And then I find them like you were saying, just out and about, and I'm like, oh my god, isn't that the cutest? Like I found a little jack, I found a little that little star spiky thing that you play in a jacks game, like the bouncy ball type thing. I found several. I had no idea what to do with them, and the best thing Jonathan ever did was send me a link, and he said, and even if you don't want the link, hey, just common knowledge, common sense. And I was like, common sense? Really? Oh, we ain't got enough of that in the world. I need this. And from then on, I've literally just been absolutely in love with them, and I completely owe this obsession. And I use them in my reads. I use them in just my my knock knocks, my funnies, my self checks. I use them all the time, and I owe a huge thanks to Jonathan for introducing them to me.
Oh, thank you.
Yay.
So, as far as my background with charms,
no, it's not my birthday, Heather. It was my birthday present.
It was a birthday present a while ago. Yeah, we've been talking about doing this for a couple months, but I wanted to give Hershe time to get familiar with charm casting and using them. And as far as I go, well, let's see, casting so much more than just charms, right? So like I've got my runes on amethyst, right? So that's casting, right?
Really?
I have my poem on their own sticks, right?
I have oams. Those are casting.
That's casting, right? Anything
Seriously,
that you're
I didn't
literally
know
taking
that.
a pinch of and throwing on top of a reading is casting, right? So I start with runes when I start with tarot. So I feel like it's been a big part of my journey. I didn't get into the charm part of it until just a few years ago when I backed the Ofrenda Oracle, and it came with its own little kit of charms. That really got me interested. Wow. And then like, when was it? Like a couple years ago, I think Ange tagged me on Carrie Paris's Instagram and actually won the charm casting cloth. So yes, thank you, Ange.
Yes, that's exciting.
So I ended up getting this and started doing that. And like Hershe, I just started getting metal charms, the kits from Amazon that you can get for like a few hundred for like not that much. And now I've got got them jumping out at me.
I know.
And look what jumped out. Hope.
Hey, that's Star Trek.
That's mine.
And that's one of the things I really love about these is that like some of them have written things on them, some of them are just objects, right? Like a bow and arrow. And yes, I do have like a little cheat sheet that I was using, but at this point, like Ange says, it's like where it lands, how it lands, what it's with changes everything.
Yep.
So I find that like, yeah, I will sometimes, I end up getting the book because it went into basically everything you want to know about casting, even different kinds of casting, how to build your own kit. So yes, we're not here to sell, we're here to share. Mm-hmm. But if you like Emerald Lotus Divination, that's who created this. And she does it in a really cool way because she has 2 sections here of charm meanings and break it down into like, let's see, colors, food and drink, characters. Like there's even a section here about like Disney princesses and what they mean if you have like the princess doll in your kit, right?
Yep.
And then you get into, say, the A to Z miscellaneous that don't necessarily fit in a specific category, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's great to like just get general knowledge, but as Ange says, it's all about intuition, right?
Yeah.
And there's other ways of doing it. I've got the Oracle dice from the Dice Goblin, the same people who did the Alleyman Tarot. Like, you pick out which dice you want for the reading, and then it came with a cloth that's actually two-sided, so you decide which side you actually want to use. Say, I want to use the Four Seasons, right? Which also has within, without, wheel and woe, body, mind, spirit, right? So, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I don't know. I think the casting surface is just as important as what you're casting with.
Yes.
Because, you know, I mean, once you have it here in front of you, then you're casting your cloth. Well, you could do a reading on the cloth and then put casting on top, which I think is something Ange does as well.
Yeah. Preparing your surface. I mean, just like you prepare for, a card reading, it's important, right? Like you sort of like cleanse your space, set the energy, blah, blah, blah. But with charms, especially if you're physically casting, it's very important to have some containment because otherwise you're just flying all over the place. And for me also, it's important to have, so you set your intention for your reading. And I'll give you an example. Like, okay. So if I'm doing a reading and I want to do like past, present, future, I mean, that's a very common one, or whatever 3-card spread, you can pull 3 cards and then you can also use something like this, right? That you can like put the charms in and then you know which position it lands in. Right? This is just from the dollar store. And I just want to preface this by saying, if you're interested in this sort of thing, it doesn't have to be expensive. Please don't, because you can spend a stupid amount of money on this, and please don't do that. Like, actually, the more frugal it is, I think the more fun it is. So you can just go to the dollar store, get something like this, or even simpler, if you go to the dollar store and just grab yourself like a picture frame. That's all this is. Okay. And then what I did is I just put like a piece of that scrapbooking paper in it, and you could put anything in it. And also, I don't have it with me here, but I also have like an 8x10 frame, and then I'll just print off. I'll make my own casting sheets. I guess I should have grabbed some. I didn't. You just go on wherever your Word document, Google Docs, and just make 4 quadrants and write something in it, and then you can just put it in the frame. And then when you're casting, at least you have that lip to sort of contain your charms. Another thing that I use, this is my favorite thing to use. This is just a serving tray. Again, I think I got it on a clearance rack at like Home Goods or something. You know what I mean? Just something like that. But here's and it has that nice lip on it too, right? So that when you're laying your cards and you're casting, it's contained in here, And then I just have another one that's in the form of a circle here.
Yes. Yeah. I've got a pretty big circular one made out of mango wood.
So, and then the other thing, like Jonathan was talking about, like casting mats. Absolutely. There are tons of
there's so many out there
casting mats that you can get. And what he's talking about there is like each casting mat has its own theme to it. So it could be like the seasons, like he was showing all the different seasons. It could be like love and relationship and career and money, that way you're doing those kind of readings. I've seen it as well where it's like focus, trust, manifest, just depending on what kind of reading that you want to do. But my favorite way to do it, and back to the dollar store finds, is just grab yourself a whiteboard, like a cheap whiteboard, and grab yourself some expo markers, and you can create your own on here. And that way when you're done, you just erase it and make a new one. And so I like
that with the whiteboard marker. This one, it like goes into the 12 houses, right? So you have all the 12 houses.
That's cool.
And then on the back side, you just have it white but blank, so it can be anything you want it to be.
So it's just like
I like that.
So really, possibilities are endless, right?
I just got a whole bunch of new ideas, guys. Like,
yes.
Well, and that's one of the reasons I love the one that I won from Perry. From Carrie.
See, I didn't even know that kind of stuff existed until Jane showed me her like casting mat or whatever, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh well shit. And it was like my first live with Jane, and I'm like, well, I don't have any of that. I've got a cart and no horse, so what do I do? So
Just
I
a tray. You
literally
don't need much.
took a piece of paper and I just literally made shapes and made one for
perfect.
shadow and I made one for everyday life. And then literally just sitting backstage, I was like, I need a little more. So I took a piece of board and I just put construction paper on it. And
Nice.
then I put that, what, I don't know what it ever, that contact paper over it to make it smooth.
Smooth and
So I like
shiny.
those. Yeah. So, but
The
yeah,
other
I
thing
like
do
how you can
appreciate
flip it around.
about this is it gives you charm casting spreads.
Spreads. Yep.
Yeah. So
Really spreads.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, if you're stuck, like a lot of people kind of think, okay, fine, here I have all these charms or whatever. Now, what do I ask? Like, what do I do? And just like when you're using the card, sometimes you just turn to spreads to give you a little bit of an idea of what to read on. And so you can, like he said, you can turn to a charm casting spread book or just any spread book for a tarot or oracle.
Right.
And I also like the spread deck as well. So
I haven't seen that one.
If you just don't know what to do, just shuffle the deck. And maybe you want to, so you're going to put these down on your tray. So you're going to do inspiration, reason, and relationships. Okay, so now this is a relationship reading, and reason and inspiration are a part of it. I mean, again, like the topics are endless, especially if you turn to something like this. Actually, Holly Nelson created another one called the Shadow Work Edition of the spread deck recently.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw that.
I'm gonna need a link to that. I'm gonna need a link to that.
Yeah. I'll definitely share that with you.
Heather,
And
can you find the link? Since I think you're my only mod in here.
Yeah. So I mean, just between these two right here, these two decks would give you.
Yeah.
So because I'm so new, I have a question, and it seems like you're like a whole professional with the charms. Jane and I were wondering if we could do direct questions with charms, but I guess apparently if you can do spreads, you can do like just basic direct questions as well.
Yeah.
I like it.
Those two decks
that
Anne just showed Heather, please. The spread.
Oh, the spread deck by Holly Nelson, Heather.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather.
She has an Etsy store.
Well, the other thing about just having a flat surface is that the book also goes into like how you can read those different surfaces. So this little mark here kind of breaks between different readings you could do on the blank surface. And they go into like so many different ways you could just use like a flat surface. Right. So there's so many ways you can use charm casting. It's unbelievable, truthfully.
Yeah, and not just the symbolism of the actual charm itself, but how it falls. So, for example, if it lands upside down, are you going to read that in like the shadow reversed? If it's upside down, if it's flipped around, right. How you have your reading surface. Okay, does it fall outside of the surface? Does that mean it's something in the future, something not to really worry about? Another thing that I use, let me see, do I have it here? Yes, I do. I'll sometimes put these hands in the middle of wherever I'm casting. And if anything lands in the hands, that's very important to focus on, like the focus hands. And also I have like a little heart dish. So like the heart of the matter, if something falls in here.
I love that.
Something like that, it just kind of gives you a focal point, if you will.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I like the ones that have like, say, in the middle there.
Yeah, exactly.
Core, right. So what is the core issue?
Yes.
So that's actually, I think, the cloth I'm going to use. This one I love using, but sometimes it's like, well, which circle am I using right now?
Yes, it's very.
Because it's also meant to be a pendulum board.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Right. So each circle can represent like a different reading. So you could just do the inner one if you just want to know about like, the house, the money, kids, animals, marriage, that kind of stuff. It's the possibilities are endless, especially when you start making your own.
Yeah. I think when you put your own spin on it, just like it's no different, right? Than okay, so anybody can go grab a deck of cards, that's fine. But when you put your intention and your energy into it, that's what brings the magic. That's what brings the life to it, right? Because really, if you want to know my opinion, a deck of cards there's nothing to it. There's no energy. There's no life to it. You put the intention and energy into it, and it's no different with charms. And actually, like Hershe was showing how she's actually developing her own boards and things, it's going to be that much more powerful for her as a reader because she created it, right? So yeah, I think it's really like I'm getting chills because I just love the creativity, which is great.
Yeah. Oh, Heather wants to know if there are any other links. The only other one that I think might be useful for people, which I'm pretty sure I put in the description, I'm not 100% sure, is this is a quick and easy free A to Z charm symbolism meaning. And it's by Emerald Lotus Divination. Right. So yeah, it's https www.emeraldlotusdivination.com/charm-casting-meanings. That's just a great way for people to get started, just thinking about meanings and stuff. But as we keep saying, yeah, it's great to know the meanings, but you also be able to, you have to let go of that too.
Yeah, so. For sure. And when you're thinking about building your charm casting set, try to think outside of the box. Like, yes, there's charms that you can go on Amazon. You go to Michael's and they have all the charms there. Actually, if you go to Michael's as well, not just the charms that they have, but if you look at the beads, the string of beads that they have, sometimes they have little shapes. Little animal, like whatever, and so that's kind of as well. If you go into like the miniature dollhouse section of places, I love that kind of stuff. And also there's like dice and Scrabble tiles. So like I have this fishbowl of like all of these letters and dice, and so that is another layer that you can add to it. I don't put it obviously in my other bowl because good Lord, it would be overflowing. And sometimes I don't want to add that layer to it, right? It just depends.
Right. Well, I mean, even with me, I don't have everything all together. Like, I'm not putting my dice in with my charms. These charms actually, as they come pouring out, I pretty much just stayed with the metal charms that you can get on Amazon because I wanted to keep it compact and easy to transfer, like travel with. So
yeah. There's another set that I want to grab. I'll be right back. I just want to grab it here.
I almost feel like we just got a little mini reading here.
Did we now?
Yeah. So these two next to each other in the body position is she believed she could, so she did. And that was
I love that.
Dream. And then in the material, we get every journey starts with this one step.
Oh man, I love that.
And then in the mind, we got the little smiley face with the gecko lizard here, right? So this is a reminder that sometimes we have to just choose happiness over the fear that our little reptilian mind keeps trying to feed us all the time. Right?
Absolutely.
Happiness is an inside job. So
I like it.
I mean, that's what I love about charms. Like I spilled some out and we got a whole reading out of it.
I love it. Have you guys ever heard of the crone stones? Crone.
Yes.
No.
So the crone stones are.
Something I need to add to my wish list.
One more thing here.
So they're made of like porcelain. So, and they have all these little images on them. Now, these have like very specific meanings because like it was a system that was created and there's a book that goes with it. And I'd be lying if I said I know all of them because I definitely don't. But that's why, you have a reference that you can use. So I just keep them in like a little bag and just pull them out as I need them.
It's a variation of the witch runes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Yep. And that is by, who is this by? Carol Lee Campbell. for those who want to know what that is.
Yeah, 'cause I
There's
made
an
a set witch runes.
Oh, there's an Etsy store. Let's see if I can remember what her Etsy store is called. Oh. I don't know. I think it's called Eye of the Beholder. Well,
Thank you, Heather. Eye of the Beholder divination discs.
So these are divination discs. This is one thing that she sells, and it looks like. Does anybody remember Pogs? It kind of reminds me of those. They're kind of just cardboard, and they have little pictures on them. There's a whole bunch in here.
Aloha, Nancy.
And then there's.
Those are cool. I've never even heard of them. Oh, Zen. I like.
I love that they're double-sided.
To stir.
Right.
Well, because I made my own runes. Remember the dark light runes?
Yeah.
And I finally got a working set. I'm in the middle of trying to write a guidebook, which is really hard to try and get something that was downloaded out of my brain and into like words on paper. But it's similar. It's little discs. On one side, you got like lemniscate and the cord, right?
Did you get those on? Did you make those, or did you get those?
I made these. These are mine. Yep.
Oh.
So we get, the symbol for air with the swords. Right. And I have 13 discs with 26 pairs, or 13 pairs, so 26 total. So, we get water with cups on the other side, earth, and coins. But then I also have like triple goddess with the horn god, the all-seeing eye with the spiral labyrinth, healing on one side and the scythe on the other.
That is so cool.
I like those. Those seem powerful.
I mean, a ton. Yeah. Then we got like cauldron magic on one side with candle magic on the other.
Oh, wow.
And we have blessings and balefire, which is like a curse, basically.
Yeah.
Fire is blue. I don't know if you can see that, but so I have like moon and sun and continue. I have so sunset, sunrise. It's like beginnings and endings, and so I have a whole system that I'm trying to like get out of my brain and put down.
That's so cool.
Like I got this download back in 2020. I've spent like the last 2.5 years trying to find a place that I can get these made. I finally found that, and I'm like, oh right, I gotta tell people how to use this.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be great.
That's so from the same creator that I just showed you, those like pog looking things. She also made something very similar. I mean, obviously you have your own system, but they're called clarifier tokens for divination. It's the same company, the
Eye of the Beholder.
And these all have numbers on them. So numbers and symbols, and it's just random things. Like there's an apple, there's a house. So if you're into numerology, you can utilize the numbers, or you can just you don't have to. And there's
the numbers are also good for looking up the meaning.
And so it does come with this little book that if you wanted some keywords, you could have them. And then
that's what I'm trying to put together is that little booklet.
Yeah.
Once that's done, I can try and probably crowdfund my idea. But oh my God, we're talking for almost half an hour already.
And then recently, that same Eye of the Beholder came out with these, and they're called beguiling buttons. And it comes in this little bag here. And again, the same creator. And then these are not double-sided; they're just one-sided. But they just have simple little pictures on them as well. So you see how that's a sinking heart. So that's about grief.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then so there's like a whole bunch of them in here. So those are I'm pretty sure she still sells these on her Etsy shop. I know this one she does because it's brand new, but the other ones I think she still has them there. Yeah, and then like Jonathan said, anything can be used as casting, right? You can use dominoes.
Right.
Like again, these are from the dollar store, and you can use your runes. Like these are my runes. He already showed his there. And what else? I have these I Ching tiles.
Oh yeah, that's a good casting set too. I forgot to grab them. I have coins, like the 2 coins that you're supposed to cast with.
Yeah, I have the I Ching
set
coin
my mom gave me
as well. And then I have a set of these little tarot and Lenormand.
Oh yeah, the
things as well.
tiles. Yeah.
Those were like a Kickstarter, I think. But
So yeah, they have a pretty good little description in here about different types of casting. Like bone casting is osteomancy, if you throw the bones. Rune reading, Ching is claromancy. And then there's charm casting, which is what we're going to be doing today. Right?
Yay.
So are you guys ready to play a little?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me set up my banner. I have the giveaway thing set up. So the word that you're going to be using to get put in the giveaway is charms, CHARMS, capital C. Right? And we'll just draw a few from at random. I like the idea of fate coming in and letting us know who needs a reading today. So I love doing that these days. Thanks, Carol, for keeping me.
All right.
I'll give them a few moments to put in charms and everything. So I think today I'll just be using this little, just because it's a little simpler, easier to see what's going on. And I like having it in a cloth bag because I can close it and I can really just mix it through pretty easily. So, and bowls are good too. I feel like they can get a little loud on video, but because I know you tend to mute yourself when you do your charms, right, Ange?
I try to, yeah, because it can get really loud. But some people like that noise, though. They like they want to hear.
It feels soothing to them in some ways. Yeah.
I just always think, oh my gosh, if someone has earbuds in, I'm like,
I know, right?
Ah.
Well, and then imagine someone who's watching the playback and they're doing it in like 1.5 speed or double speed.
Oh
like,
gosh.
It's just like, ah.
Oh. Hey, Miss Tarot D, how you doing, girl?
So let's see, how many do we have? We've got 4 entries so far. You guys can keep putting them in, and we will start with our first giveaway. Well, first reading. It's the giveaway tool, so it's hard not to call it a giveaway.
Yeah.
Amanda, Travel Vampires in Spirit. Yes, I think it's way past time for her to have a reading herself. Yay! Okay, let me find.
I'm excited to read for you, my friend.
Do you want to start, Anne?
Sure. So you just want me to stick with charms, like just charms?
You can do whatever you want. This is a show about charm casting, so that's what I was going to do, to stick to charms. But I mean, if you'd rather pull out your dice, go right ahead.
Okay. All right. So just give me a second, and I'm okay.
No rush.
Okay. Amanda. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so Amanda, what I got for you, I did pull one card just because I'm a layered reader and I don't know how to read without the card. So the card that I pulled is the Hermit. And so with the Hermit, I have a catcher's mitt with a baseball, eggs that are in a bowl that are not scrambled yet, and a cup of coffee. And so when I put all of these together, what I get is so the focal point of this reading is about in order to stay in the game. Okay, so this is all about staying in the game, like the game of life, if you will, right? It's so important that we remember where we came from, so I look at that like our origins, and also to do the necessary work, as you well know, in terms of introspection and going within, and in order to shine the light for others, we have to, and this is a little coffee cup, in order to shine the light for others, we have to fill up our cup first, right? So this is very much saying that in order to stay in the game, we really do have to get a fresh focus, and really, usually I take a little bit more time with my readings here, so I'm just trying to fly with it here, girl. But yeah, so just to get that fresh focus, just your origins, remember where you came from and remember who you are. I know I don't have to tell you that, girl, because I know you know who the hell you are. But I'm just saying, like, that's very much coming through in the reading in terms of staying in the game. And yeah, I think that this is a very powerful reading for you, because right now you are upping your game big time, especially when it comes to growing your channel and stepping fully into your power. And I think that's all that this is. It's just a reminder to just keep shining that light. But in the meantime, just make sure that you're taking that time for you to refresh and recoup. And just, yeah, game on, girl. Like you're doing really well. So just keep going with it. Okay.
Awesome. Hershe, are you ready, or should I go?
Sure, I'm ready. Ooh, okay, hi Amanda. So, well, I mean, I think I got a little bit of everything going on here, right? So I feel like it's kind of like a cauldron going on, right? I don't feel like there's just one specific area. I feel like it's a lot of little things and a bunch of little in a much bigger area, right? There's three things they really, really, really want me to pay attention to, and I think it's because you're paying attention to them, right? So you got the snake that looks like the symbol for health, and you got heart paired with it, and on my board they're in the health and the gain kind of area, right? So had they fallen a little higher up, it would have looked the other way around, but because it's this way, it's closer to my heart, and I start there when it comes to charms, and then I go up. I want you to understand that I feel like you're paying more attention to something internally, right? But there is, on that same line, right, those never-ending lines that go in both directions, right, there's also a Jesus piece. And I don't mean anything by that, but what I'm simply trying to say, it's that crucifix one, right? So with this being right on the line of spirit and loss, I have to wonder, because they paired that with the bird, right? So is this a familiar for you? Or is the familiar because it's kind of paired all the way in spirituality? Is there something that you're mourning about, maybe religion, that you are learning to turn into strength in your own spirituality? I don't know. Or maybe you've got a familiar that's going to be coming in to you and it has feathers. I don't know. There's one or two ways you can look at that. The other thing that they said when they dropped these is they put a dog, a key, and a tree in the home area, right? So all three of these are in the home area. So you got the tree of life, you've got a key, which never allows you to be locked out, and then you got the loyalty, you've got yourself, you've got your loyalty, whether it's a companion or whether it just represents you and your loyal heart. they want you to know and keep it up. The last thing they want you to work on or understand is that between work and playtime, the sun fell, right? So on the back of the sun card, it says, I'm made with a smile. What I want you to know is because it kind of fell in that top area, it looks like you're doing enough of both of them to keep your life balanced. And I think it looks pretty good. So keep up whatever you're doing, sweetie. That's what I've got for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hershe, you are not a beginner. You are amazing. I'm just saying.
Right? I was about to say, how is that a beginner reader?
Oh my god.
It's just like plug in, no
Good for
biggie,
you.
just another system.
Hey.
No
when
shucks, guys, shucks.
When you're tuned in, you're tuned in.
So for you, at the very core, I got these two swans kind of making a heart with their necks, right? So the core here is your relationship with others, really. And it could be a love relationship, but I think in general, it's just how you connect, right? The other thing that landed close to it in mind is learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. And next to that was an upside down banana. Okay. So this is just a reminder that if you get too caught up in like remembering yesterday, hoping for tomorrow, and you're not paying attention to today, it's a slippery slope, right? Just like you could slip on a banana peel. These thoughts can make you slip, right? And you're no longer in the here and now. You're too focused on what was and could have done better, or what will be, and the worries you have connected to that. Connected to spirit, it says, it takes a big heart to teach little minds. Right? So I feel like that's something you've been working on a lot lately, especially with your channel and the way you're constantly getting those horrible trolls that just it's like every live you have trolls, which is crazy. And I think part of that is that ability to take a big heart and teach the little brains, right?
Yep.
Little minds. So right now, there's actually quite a few charms in the body area. So I feel like you might be going through some connection to the body. Well, I had the dragonfly, but it was reversed, as well as the lemniscate was also reversed, which is kind of interesting because how can you reverse that, right? So it's almost like you're feeling a little disconnect from your ancestors and your spirit guides. The other thing that showed up is the Hawaiian shirt upside down. So there's that like feeling a disconnect from your roots, right? But next to that is a reminder that, you know, make a wish on a star and you'll have success. Okay. So just remember, give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world. Marilyn Monroe. Right? And coming in autumn here,
right?
And coming in autumn here, which ties into the body in a lot of ways, we have health, happiness, treasure. And I feel like this is a reminder that your health and your happiness are your greatest treasures. Okay. So in fall, make sure you're doing stuff to, you know, work on the body if you're feeling disconnected, right? Do some meditation, do yoga, whatever it is that you need to do in order to finally reconnect with that health and happiness if you're not feeling it, right? The other charm I got in the body area is the diamond, right? You got to treat yourself like the diamond you are. Okay? You are a unique snowflake.
Yes.
We need each other, right? None of us vibrate at the same vibration, and it is all of our vibration together that is really the song of the stars. So don't ever think that your note is not needed in the symphony of life. So,
I know that's right.
yeah, that's what I got for you. So I might have to pull out some cards just because Ange is always and I'm like, okay, cards too. That sounds good. Now, let us go back here. Oops, let me.
I said I didn't need any more
There we
charms, and then he pulls out a charm that says "women with shoes." So
Right.
I don't need more
White
charms again.
shoes, right? Which is funny because I pulled that charm for you backstage. So let us see.
I definitely need it.
Fatima, yay! Just making sure that you're still here. So please say hello if you're still here, Fatima. And Amanda says, thank you so much for the charm readings. I love it, and it all resonates with me deeply. Thank you again, of course. Okay, so Fatima is here. We'll go in the same order again, if that's cool.
Sure, yeah, of course. All right, so Fatima. Let's see here. All right. Oof. Okay, so hi Fatima, thank you so much for always supporting all of our channels. You know that we love you dearly. Okay, so what I did for this reading is I did like a spread. So the first card is going to be what is blocking you. The second one is what to focus on. And the third one is change. Like, what can you change? Okay. And so along with the focus card, though, came the devil. So that's going to be like in the middle of the reading. And then when I sprinkled charms on it, I'll show you what came up. So it'll be a little bit easier to see, like when I do like the top down camera. If you come over on my channel, I'm going to be doing charm readings where I'm going to have a camera that's facing down. And it's a little bit easier to show you how it all landed, but I'll do my best here to show you here. So in the blockage category, out came little Mr. Black Bear. Okay, and a police car. Okay, now I know that's like, what the hell? So what could be blocking you could be something. Now, when I get the black bear, I think of like mama bear energy, you know, like really focusing on that family core, and perhaps some blockages that could either be blocking you currently or maybe in the past, because it is in kind of the past position, could be something to do with somebody maybe within the family getting themselves into a little bit of trouble. Doesn't necessarily have to mean with the police. It just means maybe taking the wrong path in life, or maybe just made some wrong choices. Okay, and then we move into the focus of what you should focus on right now. We get a little pair of boots, and we get the red string. So the pair of boots is, for me, especially in this reading where it's focused, and remember it fell on top of the devil card too, right? So focus on walking away from anything that could potentially be draining your energy. Right. So it could be like a habit that you have. It could be certain people in your life that are draining you, like energy vampires that you have to let go of. And I think it's more along the lines of that, because with the red string, this always reminds me of the red string that connects all of us together. It's like that spider web of life, of how we're all connected. Like one thing that we do affects another person, and if there is anyone in your life that is sort of affecting you in that negative way, then it is best to try to remove yourself from that situation. It can be hard if it is family members or somebody closer to you, but there is always something that you can do to sort of distance yourself, even like more energy protection when you're around those type of people. And then what do you need to change? So with the change card, comes the little elephant and the little picnic basket. And for this particular reading with the change, it's telling you to unpack something. So this little basket. So to unpack something and really focus on, like they always say, the elephant in the room. So something that you've been sort of kind of, how do you say, not ignoring, but just pushing to the side. Meanwhile, the elephant in the room is like, okay, we should probably deal with that. So unpack that, right? Address the elephant in the room. What is that thing in your life that finally you should probably deal with? Because, you know, I think it ties back into that focus card with the devil and kind of letting all that energy go, so that you can free up that blockage. And that's what I have for you.
I'm laughing just because one of the charms I got is a little elephant.
The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room.
I got an elephant too.
Oh my gosh!
An
Wait,
elephant too, but I'm not going to tell you where. All right, so I always want to say Fatima. I get it out here. My brain goes somewhere else. So if I start closest to my heart, I get a guitar, and I don't know why, but I feel like this like has a very sentimental meaning to you. Like, I don't know if it's acoustic, if it's an electric guitar, a bass guitar, I don't know. Take your pleasure in it. It looks like it could almost be an electric, but it's in the desires and the kind of big cat energy, right? So I don't know if you just have a thing for big hairstyles of the 70s and rock groups from the 80s where they had the big hair and, you know, the big cat energy kind of thing. Or, you know, it could go completely the other way, because the other thing that it's touching is a mermaid, and the mermaid is touching in the play shadow kind of area, right? So because they fell together, I'm literally going to start there, right? It's the Samhain season coming in. I don't know if you like to dress up. I don't know if you like to decorate, but it could absolutely have something to do with that too, right? Maybe you're going to put on some kind of concert for the season, or maybe you play in a band and you guys got some kind of gig coming up or something closer to Samhain, when it's more fun to play in the shadows when the veil is dropping, right? So as I move just a little bit farther up, I do got this teeny tiny little elephant here that's got all kinds of details, and it hit in the new day, new start area, right? So this could be something that you're starting a new tradition on, because we're coming into the Mabon season. So I really feel like this is something very seasonal, and it's something also very new, because we got a rabbit coming in the dream section, right? So because we've got this new quick moving kind of hair coming in, just remember that just because it's coming in quickly in the dream, the hair really never wins the race. So make sure that once it comes in quite quickly, you slow down back to like a turtle kind of energy and go back to that elephant. Go back to remembering why you're starting this new day, this new way, this new start, right? The other thing that they want me to let you know is you got the hand of Fatima in the hope section, and you got a pair of scissors that are open, and they literally fell on the line of walking away and denial. So if there is something that someone or you were once in denial about, it doesn't look like that's going to be sticking around very much longer. With them scissors being open and falling directly on the line, I do believe you have literally either seen the light of day, or you are done fighting the mass and you are cutting your loss and walking away. So it's going to bring balance, right? Because the last thing that fell was the key, and it's in balance. So it comes after this walking away kind of energy. So it looks really good from my end. Just remember that what this new season has to offer you sounds like it is going to be incredibly fun and maybe even eye-opening. So let it come in real quick, but then slow down once it gets here and just enjoy every moment as you can. And that's what I've got for you.
Wow.
Beautiful. That's very beautiful. So Rossi says elephants are all about family, loyalty, and support. They have long memory, and they're good luck too. And just because we had so many elephant things, I did look up elephant for us.
Yes.
And it's wisdom, good luck, experience, loyalty, companionship, and obstacles being removed. Right? For me, the elephant fell on the line between mind and spirit, close to the within area. Right? But the core, interesting enough, right at the core, I got the Eiffel Tower. That was the only thing that landed in the core. So I almost feel like, is it time to romance yourself? Right? The card I pulled, just as the main card, was the Queen of Pentacles here. So with that, with the Eiffel Tower, it makes me feel like it's time to treat yourself. The other reason why I think that is in the body section, we got what's for you will not pass you, right? So things that are meant for you will, you have no choice, basically. And then I got an apple, but it was reversed. So I'm almost feeling like you're so focused on nurturing everyone else that it's time to start nurturing your own body, okay? In the mind section, one of the reasons I kept looking over is in the mind, the only thing that came here was the dove of peace. And as I'm sitting here looking at it, I look over and there's a dove like sitting right there looking at me. So obviously you're mentally at peace, but I see a lot of internal turmoil in spirit. I had the strawberry show up, but again, it was reversed. So it's, when I see a strawberry reversed, I think of romance, but in a way that you're working too hard, right? You're working so hard to try and get that love that it's almost not worth the effort, right? And the other thing is next to it, one of the other reasons I think of that is I had this black heart show up reversed, right? So there's a little bit of painfulness to it. The heart was stabbed with a star, actually, which is interesting because here on the Eiffel Tower, we got little stars sparkling on the tower, right? So I feel like it's time to stop trying to love others so much that you're forgetting to love yourself here, right? Because the other thing is that came with it is the scales. So they were tilted in a way where it made me realize that you're giving so much that it's not a balance, right? But I mean, you do have a lot of luck in your spirit's house, right? With the 4-leaf clover showing up. So I feel like once you're able to shift that perspective of trying to love others so much and trying to give yourself that same love, I think everything will change, right? Because here in the material, we have hope paired with this triangle, which was on its side, but it's a reminder that no matter which side is up, there's always a point, right? So there's always that hope, no matter which way your triangle is going. And between summer and autumn, I got this little coin here. It's kind of hard to show you. Do as you would be done by. Almost too simple, but this is all you need to get by. And there's a word arbor there. I'm pretty sure it's the arbor tribe who has that saying. And then winter is another reminder to live in the moment. Okay. And that, I think, is also why we have the Eiffel Tower. It's a reminder that to seize that moment, if you get an offer to go to Paris, grab it, right? I mean, this is really all about self-care, self-love, and giving yourself that trip you always wanted. Don't wait for anyone else to take you. Take yourself. So that's what I have for you. I hope that was helpful, Fatima. So.
Wow. That was beautiful and so detailed. And I love that elephant showed up 3 times. So that's another thing too with charm casting. If there is a symbol that shows up more than once, like pay attention to it, obviously. Just like if you're pulling cards and more than one, the same card from different decks are showing up as well, that's pointing you in that direction. But I also want to point out that when you have multiple readers, such as us reading, and the same symbol pops up. Yes, it's very much telling you to pay attention to it, but also depending on how it lands, like for each one of us, it could be alluding to like a different aspect of that symbolism. So overall, the elephant definitely was talking about, like crushing obstacles and sort of breaking through those blockages. Like you can think of an elephant, big, mighty, strong. That's why they say elephant in the room. But then there was also some other details in Fatima's reading as well with that same symbolism. So just keep that in mind, right? That when you are receiving a charm reading or giving one, it's not that it's wrong. It's just that it's more layers to the reading. And I just think I love it. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, pretty amazing. I mean, it's one of the reasons I wanted to do this.
Yes. The magic of it all, right?
I know, right? And then to see 3 of us doing it and getting very similar readings is just different aspects, right? We're just seeing different facets of the same gem.
Yep.
Rossi.
Hey.
I think Rossi's still here. Rossi, say hello if you're here.
Rossi.
And Fatima says, very interesting. Thank you, Jonathan. This is great. Yeah. And then
do this one.
I had to forget about myself, taking care of others.
Do this one. Gotcha. Rossi.
Rossi is here.
Great. Rossi.
Ooh, it's getting hotter here. Might need to put on the AC soon. September is the hottest month on Maui.
7 cups. Condition. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, Rossi, hello. So the spread that I'm using for you with the 3 cards, let me just get these charms out of the way here, is foundation, issue, and help. Okay. Foundation, issue, and help. So in the issue position, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay. All right. So, the Ace of Wands is all about like that new inspiration, that fiery passion. And maybe the issue right now is that you have an idea. Maybe you have a lot of ideas and you're just not sure like where to focus, or maybe you've picked a focal point and things just aren't seeming to be moving along as quickly as you want to. So what in the foundation position, which is really interesting because I have the Statue of Liberty and then I also have the Eiffel Tower. And so, I mean, you can't get any more stronger of a foundation than something as humongous as these two monuments, right? These 2 huge structures in our world. So the foundation is just reminding you to get grounded, to be really firm in what your intentions are in terms of what this fiery passion is in your life. Whether that be just for your own personal interest in terms of like pursuing a hobby. It could be about a career in terms of like maybe you feel stagnant where you are and you want to move, whether it's in the same company or changing jobs. And it could be in relationships. Maybe, you need to change things up in there. So I didn't really read into detail about that, but it definitely is pointing to laying down the foundation so that it can ground you into that energy of stepping further into this fiery passion of whatever that is in your life. And also what landed on the Ace of Wands is this tiny little card, and it's probably too tiny to see, but it's a 7 of Hearts, which is a 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups in the tarot is very much all about that that choice, right, of like taking that step back. And again, maybe that's what it's alluding to as well. Like I said originally about the issue, right? Maybe the issue is you do have a lot of choices and you're like, oh, I just don't know which one to go for. I don't know which one to focus on. So it's just it's telling you that it's time to focus on that in terms of making that choice, but be careful of the choice that you make, right? Make sure that you're firmly rooted in your foundation and with grounding yourself and knowing what you want. And with that Ace of Wands also came the tree. And that is, again, your roots, right? Making sure that you have that strong foundation in order to move into this next venture, whichever that may be for you. And then for the help card, what came out was a mermaid tail. And and you grew up in New York City. Hey, okay. So, and when it comes to New York too, it's probably is talking quite frankly about your roots too. Like, don't forget where you came from, as well, ground yourself in that energy if it's helpful to you, right? And so if in the help category, we've got a mermaid tail and a cockatiel. And right away, as soon as I saw this come out on the help card, it was like as above, so below, because birds fly in the sky and mermaids swim in the sea. And so it's sort of like that balance of as above, so below. You can remember that you always have that magic within you that you can firmly, whatever that is that you believe in, right? That is something that should be a foundation, right? Quite frankly, for you. So the last charm that came out for you is the car, and this is like a really fast car, right? So it is definitely telling me that, and remember, Wands energy too can be fast energy. So there definitely is some help that is arriving to you pretty quickly and very soon, but it's clearly showing me that if you put in this work of the foundation of grounding yourself and setting that intention and making that choice of whatever this is, and then therefore it'll allow the flow of the help to start to come in. And yeah, that's what I have for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ange.
I think I'm finally stumped. I think I'm stumped. Okay. All right, we're going to go with it. Okay, so I think this is the first. Y'all know I got like multiple things, right? And I go with whatever one they want me to land on. So, Rossi, the first thing that fell out was the little light bulb looking little thing, right? This little cute little light bulb looking thing. Can you see the little thing here? So anyway, it fell in the desires, right? So obviously it could be lighting the way. There could be this could be a sign of you inventing something, because the light bulb is an invention and it is a solo light bulb, and it fell into the desires. Maybe there's something you're creating or something that you're trying to manifest and you need the green light. Take this as your green light on something that you're desiring. Either way, whether you're growing it, creating it, or you literally are just desiring it and you need the thumbs up to do it, I would take the light bulb as a absolutely yes, you should move forward, because it fell in desires. But here's where I get a little twisted, because in lust and love, you got an octopus, right? So there's a whole lot of arms going on when it comes to an octopus, right? It can touch and stick to a lot of things. And because it fell directly in the middle of lust and love, it is directly across from desire. It makes me wonder if it's healthy. Right? So not that an octopus isn't healthy, but because I've never dealt with an octopus before and I have a feeling they can get quite clingy, I feel like something that could be desired that is lustful could be something that maybe you need to pull the light back from a little bit and make sure that the light is indicating the things that you absolutely love, because therefore, if you love it unconditionally, 9 times out of 10, it can love you back unconditionally in some way of it showing it, right? The next thing that comes up is something that I just never saw before. You got the wish granted and granting wishes. You got something in both of them, right? So in wish granted, you got the little Pegasus and a bear, right? So when I think about a Pegasus, says, that's pure magic, just like the unicorn, right? It's very rare, but it is the best of the best. And then you got this grizzly bear coming in. And for me, I get grandmother energy when I think about grizzly bear, right? I think about the protection of a grandmother, especially one that's connected to the earth or connected to spirit in any way or has bear in her chart of any kind, right? This lets me know that this unicorn, this pureness, right? This grandmother energy bear coming in for you. There's some wish that you wish for just yourself that will be granted. Now, will it be granted by ancestors? It does feel like it will be granted by ancestors, but you got an open face key with some form of heart looking thing going on here in the middle of the key in the granting of the wish, right? So I feel like whatever wish you grant to somebody, I feel like it's literally going to open doors for them. It's something that is impossible for them right now, and you're going to help them make it possible where it's impossible right now. The other thing that I want you to notice is that you got a heart and you got a shark in the dreams section. So either you are valiantly pursuing something with this shark energy going on, right? Because they are avid hunters, they are very territorial, they are extremely predator like, but at the same time you can also roll them over on their belly and tickle them and they're friendly, right? Depending on the type. You've got different types of sharks. So but all of them are very, very, very much predatory and they're very territorial. So whatever this is you're dreaming of, continue to keep it kind of locked down and just to yourself. And you got a heart holding a whole bunch of hearts. So you're holding this hope for somebody that you love a whole lot and they love you back, but make sure that you keep this dream maybe just a little bit quiet until you're ready to announce it as completed instead of somebody coming in and maybe stealing your lunch. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I got for you.
And she does say lots of ideas. So, I got quite the spread here. In the middle, the main thing I got was a horseshoe inverted, right? But I always see the inversion as kind of like a cup catching all that good luck, right? So you've been feeling very lucky. Kind of on the line between core and mind, I had this little speak bubble with a heart in the middle. Speaking of hearts, Hershe, and covering it was this little charm that says "Wishes do come true," right? And it's a little dandelion thistle, right, getting blown.
Oh, I love that.
So I feel like you're very focused on love, but right there between mind and spirit, we have an abacus. So it's almost like you're trying to keep track of it, right? Kind of keep track of what everyone owes and what you owe, and I feel like that's something you need to let go of. Okay? Next to it, the ace of clubs or the ace of wands, right? But it's laying on its side. I feel like by trying to constantly keep track of everything, you're losing track of your own passion, right? And in the mind area, we got the Cheshire Cat smile with "We are mad. We're all mad here," right? So I'm feeling like this constantly trying to keep track of everything is kind of driving a little batty. The other thing in mind next to that was a spoon, right? So I think it's a reminder of what are you feeding your mind, right? What, and it's like right here next to this mouth, right? So that's why I was thinking, what are you feeding yourself? Thoughts that help your mental health, or are you feeding yourself thoughts about how not everyone is adding up, right? So you got to keep an eye on them. I feel like that is something that's a little, it's just so many charms ended up in mind here, especially with that one being covered, the heart being covered by the wishes. It's like you're wishing so hard you might not even see the love that's already there. And then in spirit, I got this ring here, and it repeats the same 4 words, which are hope, trust, love, and dream. Okay. So it's a circle, right? Because every time we're hoping, we're going in a circle. Every time we love, we're loving in a circle. We dream in a circle, right? So it's a reminder that everything is circular. What goes around comes around, right? Next to it, I have this little white kitten in the spirit section. So I'm feeling like it's time to start listening to your intuition instead of your thoughts, and know, like, have a feeling. What is that feeling? What is the cat's intuition as far as, you know, the love, the dream, and the hope that these people bring to you? Here between body and matter on the without, it's actually on the without section. It came up this direction, right? It almost looks like a bunch of spoons being spilled out. On the other side, though, it's always heart, right? Always love. So it's almost like you're so focused on the love that you're spilling out all your spoons trying to find the love that's always there, right? You don't need to look quite so hard outside of yourself. In fact, I had several charms go all the way off, which they don't normally do with me, but the 2 that landed far into the future is believe in love with 2 hearts. Okay. Over here in the past, I got the all-seeing eye, but it was reversed. So it's almost like you didn't see the love that was always there. You have to believe in it, and then you'll see it, is what I'm getting very strongly. And then the final one I got here in autumn for you is live the life you love. So there's a lot of love and hearts coming out for you here. I think that seems to be true for quite a few of these readings. And then in wheel, which is, you know, woe is the things that are bad. Wheel is what's happening that's good for you. I got this little watermelon charm, right? Watermelon is one of those ones that, like, it's not in here, right? But the way I see it is by watering your garden with love, watering who you're with, making sure that you have the right plants in your garden and you're watering, the water is love. That melon who represents you and your being able to give to others will continue to grow and grow until you're finally able to have so much love that you have no problem giving a slice to each person who's coming by, right? Especially the ones that really need it. Because I think, like I said, once you let go of the abacus and trying to keep track, I think everything just starts flowing. You realize that it's a circle that everyone's a part of, and you can just live the life you love. So that's the messages I have for you, Rossi. I hope that was helpful. So yeah, this has been fun.
I know, right? Yeah, there's a lot of love that came up in reading, Rossi, between Jonathan and Hershe's charm. So just keep in mind that when love comes up, it doesn't always have to mean love, like right. Jonathan alluded to, outside of yourself. It could definitely mean self-love and sort of exactly. Taking care of yourself as well, right? So yeah, wow, powerful.
You're so welcome, Rossi. Of course, Miss Tara D would say, have you ever poured a bottle of vodka into a watermelon and let it soak in the fridge overnight?
Yes. Girl. Yes.
And I did the watermelon crawl the whole
you know us?
Day.
The watermelon.
I mean, it's been a few years, but yes, I've done that.
Yeah. I think those were my college days, but yes.
Right, exactly. Oh, right? And then Heather says, watermelon contains the colors of the heart chakras too. Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been going for about an hour and 20. Are you guys still good for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah.
Woo, Thomas, he's still
Brother
here.
Thomas
is here.
Yeah, he's physically here. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think he's on the phone though. I hear him talking. He might. I can check, but I think he's on the phone. But yes, he is physically here. Yes.
Okay, well, I guess we could always do the reading, and then he can just watch it back, since he's technically still here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's
Okay.
yeah. I hear him talking.
That's okay. He can always just watch it back.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's here, so he's not escaping us that easily.
No.
Well, it does look like it's been a while since he's chimed in. I'm going to see if there's any way to highlight him, but no.
Let's see here.
Oh,
Thomas.
there he is saying, "Hi, Amanda."
Okay.
Sorry, that was loud.
Okay, just want to grab a few more.
I have a feeling Hershe may have gotten Thomas for us.
Okay.
I'll never tell.
All right, so here we go, Thomas. So the spread that I'm using for you, let me just get my charms all going here. Okay, it's a vision, issue, and advice. Okay, so for the vision, let's see here. Hand here for Thomas. Okay, and so the card in the middle with the issue, the card that came up with it is the star. Okay, so just remember that's sort of like the focal point, and then we'll read what's around it. So the first card with vision comes an expo marker. I think I showed expo markers earlier. I promise I'm not advertising for expo, but apparently they're coming up. So, and then we have a dice that has the little bridge over water, and we have a horse. Okay, so when we put vision with the expo marker and the horse and the bridge, it's very much showing that you can create, your whatever it is that you're envisioning, whatever it is that you're manifesting, right? Quite frankly, like you can, with the expo markers showing you that despite what you created in the past, you can actually, I just so happen to have an eraser, you can actually erase whatever that is, and you can move forward from it. Like that's what the horse is showing you, forward movement, right? And then the bridge in this particular reading shows me like bridge over troubled water. Like, you can move on from that. You don't have to live in that energy, right? And so moving into the issue then is the star card. And then with that is the little fidget spinner and a toilet. Okay. And then a little ice cube. So quite frankly, what it's pointing to is that there's something that you've just went through how the tower comes before the star. That's why I'm getting that, is like you've just come out of something, right? And so you really are in like this healing energy of the star. But why it's falling into the issue category is it seems like there's something that is keeping you very, I get distraction with this this fidget spinner. The ice cube is like something cold, and the toilet is something like something that still needs to be like eliminated, right? So what is it that's like distracting you or keeping you from fully healing? What is it that fully needs to be released? Something that's keeping you a little cold, not literally cold, it could be, but. And then in terms of like the advice card, again, there's a lot of healing energy because you can see this little heart. This is always my healing charm that comes up. So right after the star card, this is for healing. And then there's like the little fairy door, and there is the camera. So quite frankly, the advice is to focus on your healing. And then the fairy door shows you that there is healing challenges after. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that you just had surgery. Oh, wow. So that, okay. Yeah. So, and then the fairy door is always about a reminder of that threshold, right? That yes, you are in that liminal space, how like right before you cross over that threshold, but just know that there is that hope, right? There is that hope of that star. So just don't give up on it. It definitely does show forward momentum with the horse, showing you that you can get through this. You can create your future, right? And that right now, that water that's under the bridge, it very much is a bridge over troubled water, meaning you are crossing that bridge. You are going to get to the other side. You will walk through that threshold of that door. Just be patient with yourself. Okay, that's what I have. So I hope that you're healing well, Thomas.
Thank you, Ange. Hershe?
Okay. All right. So I kind of got a fairy kind of thing going on over here too, right? So I'm pretty sure this is a fairy, right? I was looking for the other fairy to make sure this one was the fairy, but I'm pretty sure this little thing is a fairy, right? But it fell into the spiritual section, right? So it's not like you don't believe, but the fact that you have to take time to maybe break down, look up what is this, what is that. I think that's part of your journey, right? I know you love gnomes and aliens and extraterrestrial, but there is another whole vast variety that you really need to learn about. And I think that's why they put the feather and this little fairy looking thing together, right? In the spiritual section, right? So we use feathers for a lot of things, right? You can use it for smudging, you can use it for dusting, you can use it for protection, you can use it for cleansing and just moving air around, right? So you can use it for your hair, you can use it for jewelry, you can use feathers for a lot of things. So make sure that if you get blessed with a feather from it precisely finding you and falling at your feet, or you literally walk over it when you're walking to the mailbox or something. I know that doesn't happen very often, but there is a chance that you are going to find something, and it looks like it's one of the bigger ones. So make sure you look for a hawk or something that would have a bigger one. I got an upside down heart in the work section, right? And I understand. I'm your roommate, so I understand. You miss doing lives and you miss the YouTube or whatever. But you know what? You need to take in, because you got a tree that landed in the health section, right? So you need to take root in this health thing that you got going on, bro. We love you and you are healing. So it does make sense that you would need to ground yourself even more, but continue to do that, because the less that you miss doing something that's always going to be here, the less focus you get to put on yourself right now. And right now you really need to just kind of get into them roots and do as much healing as you can, because we have a cruise coming up. So I need you to focus on that, and don't worry about the heartbreak of not being on YouTube right now. YouTube's going to be here once you're healed. That's what I've got for you.
Thank you, Hershe. So, Thomas, I'm going straight to the core here because this is between the core and material world, right? I got this dog tag. I'm going to read it because it's too hard to read off the screen. Always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and loved more than you know.
Yeah.
Okay. The card that came up with the reading here is the Seven of Cups. So you're dealing with a lot of emotional choosing and choices, right? And in your mind, you got this whole thing about living the life you love. You kind of caught up in that. I mean, it came with two hearts, right? Both of those landed on those cups. But the other thing in mind was always love again in reverse, yet once more. So don't be so focused on love that you're not focusing on. Well, the other thing that came in reverse on the body is I love you to the moon and back, but it was reversed and it was on your body. So I'm feeling like you're not loving your body as much as you could be right now, because the other thing on body is this upside down treble. So it's like, so I'm hearing that the music is no longer in symphony, like harmony. You're feeling a lot of discordant stuff happening right now, especially in the body. I mean, it takes time to recover, especially from surgeries. I actually did not get a huge number of charms for this, but I got this between the material and the spirit. Again, it's that ring that's all about love, dream, hope, and trust, right? So, love your body, dream of the future, hope for the best, and trust that you will get through this, okay? What jumped far to the future here again is do as you would be done by, almost too simply, but this is all you need to get by, right? That same one that keeps coming up for a lot of us. Yes, you cannot do exactly what you want right now because of the fact that you're healing, and that's okay. You know what? It takes time, right? Just remember, you're stronger than you seem, you're braver than you believe, you're smarter than you think, right? And while it might seem like you have all these choices, right now you don't really have that many choices. You need to focus on healing your body and giving your body the love it needs. Right? Again, a lot of love coming up for people. So interesting. I hope that was helpful, Thomas. We're just past the hour and a half. I think we can do one more, if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah, I'm good for one more.
And then we should be done. Okay, oops. Let me try that one more time. There we go. Oh, I put myself in by accident. Miss Tara D, yay! Congratulations.
Hey, girl. All right. Here we go. Miss Tara D. Okay. What do we got here? Let's see.
And Miss Tara D already called that it was going to be her.
Yes.
See, I told you I'm psychic. It's like we had any doubt.
We know you psychic girl. We know this. Okay. Okay. Miss Tara D. Miss Tara D. You were in my dream, by the way, Miss Tara D. And you know what was really weird is I was like in an airport and I was like walking down the hallway with like a bunch of people, and you had sent me like a message, but it's not like I had a phone in my hand or a computer nearby, but the message like appeared in front of me, like, I don't know, like in thin air. Like it was in front of me, and it was like a really supportive message. I forget what it said, but it was something really encouraging and loving and supportive. And I was like, oh, I woke up like, thank you, Miss Tara D. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tara D. So. What is that? Okay. Ooh, let's see. Lots of goodies. We've got. All right. Okay, so Mr. OD, the spread I'm using for you is current, and in the middle it's want, and the action needed. Okay, and then in the middle for the want card, I pulled a tarot card, and it is the Spirit of Cups, and in this deck, it is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is something that currently you are seeking, you are wanting in terms of that. Healing, support. Queen of Cups is all about that emotional healing and support, nurturing, you know. So, okay, so let's start here in the current position. Well, we have a skull and crossbones, and we have a little bat. So those can speak to sometimes basically getting caught up in our head sometimes with maybe things that are not the healthiest for us, like a little bit of that batty brain, sometimes I call it, you know. So sometimes you can get caught up in that, but also what came up in the current is this sexy pinup girl. And I mean, it's Miss Tarot D. I mean, hello. Classy, sexy, come on. You know, so that's just your energy showing up there in the current. But also we have the little diploma charm. Okay. And so that means right now, currently, you definitely are seeking more wisdom. And it could definitely be connected to, you know, that Queen of Cups energy of, you know, wanting to learn more in terms of healing and support and nurturing for yourself and for others. I mean, you already have that sort of energy about you and that you exude that. But perhaps you've been working on that more, or you want to explore that more, because also with the Queen of Cups comes the little bells. And that definitely is speaking about spirit trying to get your attention to focus more on that area in terms of that Queen of Cups energy. Okay. And with the Queen of Cups also comes, oh gosh, come on. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there's like these little dandelion wishes inside of this ball. And so that is also reminding you, you know, that whatever you put out comes back to you. I know that you already know that. So what is the action needed to get to where you are wanting and manifesting? We have a roll of toilet paper. So quite frankly, it's just telling you to clean up some shit in your life that is no longer serving you. You know, it could go back to, you know, some of these toxic thoughts. It could just mean just cleaning up some of the ways that you think about yourself or something in general, or it could be quite literally something in your life that just needs a little bit of cleaning up. And then also with action needed, we get the hotel from the Monopoly game, and that to me is all about building your empire and structure and stability and foundation in terms of that. And then we have the little passport with the sometimes. So this means like some travel. So in a little sailboat. So are you needing some travel in your life? It doesn't have to be getting on a plane and going somewhere extravagant. It could just mean getting out of the space that you're living in and go for a day trip somewhere, or, you know, explore somewhere that you haven't seen, just to change up the energy a little bit. You know what I'm trying to say? That way you can clear out those bats, and you can clear up whatever that shit is. Yeah, so that way you can focus on that beautiful and nurturing healing and supportive energy that you are harnessing. So that's what I have for you, my friend.
Beautiful.
So we're going to go backwards, right? You know, I'm a moon child. I don't like going clockwise. We're going to go counterclockwise, right? So I'm going to start in that position because, for one, it's closest to my heart. And I think it makes more sense than starting the other direction. All right. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. What I want you to know is that the first thing they want you to understand is, even though you have one hell of a love for the spiritual world, right? You got this big, huge, gorgeous, open heart. You absolutely love this spiritual world, right? So in the spiritual part where we're starting at, you get the fairy as well, right? Well, we're not working or focusing on the fairy because what they want you to remember is that you are a root worker, right? You have to stay in balance for the love of both of them, right? So you get the Alice in Wonderland rabbit and you also get a cobra, right? They both fall into the world of balance when it comes to supernatural, when it comes to spiritual, when it comes to understanding the good, the bad. You have to understand both sides, right? You can't stay too much acidity and you can't stay too much alkaline, right? You literally need to stay somewhere in that 7 position. Being in that 7 position makes you aware of the snakes that are coming at you from the front or the back. But also, being the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland reminds yourself that you're never late for any important date, and you're not scared to go down every dragon hole that needs to be, whether you require to grow in size and spirituality, shape, and information and knowledge, or you have to tone it down just a little bit more. Either way, it lets me know that you are okay in the spiritual world. So because you're okay there, they want me to literally jump directly straight across from that, which is health, right? It's not a place I like to talk about, but we have the grizzly bear and literally a set of fangs, right? So this grizzly bear and the set of fangs, like, is something that needs to have your teeth sunk into it. You really need to focus on something, right? You need to get very protective. You need to get into that grandmother energy, that grizzly bear protection, and just kind of barricade yourself. It's about to be that time of year anyway, so maybe it's just time for hibernation. I wanted to touch on one thing, right? In the gain category, you got this hand going on, right? And I don't know what this hand is holding, but it's offering it to an elephant. So this, whether it's a gemstone, it could be a carrot, an apple, I have no idea, but they're offering it to the elephant. I know elephants are very substantial in your life. So use that transformation and carry the key back to the home front where you have a crown, because you are definitely going to need to take care of home and let home take care of you, Miss Tarot D. And that's what I've got for you, sweetie.
Beautiful. So I'm kind of taking it all in because there's a lot here. But and Moore's trying to jump out. No, we're not taking those.
Miss Tarot D's a big energy now. Come on.
I know, right? Well, funny enough, the core here was enough, right? So I know, Miss Tarot D, you're feeling like you've had enough, but there's a reminder that you also are enough to deal with whatever it is you're dealing with. Also here in core, we have a family's love is forever, right? A family is a circle of love. Unfortunately, it was upside down here, so it's almost like maybe you're feeling like you're not getting as much support as you would like, because the other thing that came up right on the line between mind and spirit was family, but it was face down. So there is a little bit of like a disconnect there. There's also this snowflake on top of that upside down family, right? And nearby is a stingray, right? So it might feel like you've been stung by someone, but the stingray is also a reminder that you are adaptable. Okay, you can adapt whatever situation you're in. And with mind, we get that circle of love, dream, hope, and trust. But inside the circle, we get I choose strength with a Pegasus. Oops. Right. So I choose strength with Pegasus, and it's inside that circle of trust and love. This is a reminder that, you know, family is not always blood relatives. Sometimes it's our chosen family that's really there to help us and support us. Because over that upside down family is live, laugh, love. So the ones that help you find that inner strength, that inner, well, in between the two, right? You have trust. So it's a good reminder of like, who is it you trust that you bring onto the inner circle? The other thing that I'm seeing a lot of here in spirit is there's a clump of charms here. Well, first of all, of course, a dragonfly shows up in the spirit section, right? Just a reminder that when you see a dragonfly, there's a message from spirit coming. With it, between mind and spirit is a wine glass on its side. So it's a reminder to put away indulgences for now. Below that is, it's two charms together. It's cherries with the watermelon slice again, right? So that's just a reminder that, again, what I was saying, like, are you filling yourself with love, or are you filling yourself with love for the right reason? The other thing that came out is the starfish, which is just a reminder not to get too clingy, but it's also a reminder that you have the ability to regenerate, right? One of the things you have to do, though, we have a little dinosaur here. It's just a reminder to let go of those things that no longer serve. And I'm saying that because along with it was an autumn leaf, right? Time to shed those things that no longer serve. And we get a squid with that, right? Between the dinosaur and the leaf. And for me, that squid is just a reminder to hold on to people that love you and that give you love. But it's also a reminder that you are adaptable. You can change to whatever situation you're in. And the final charm is in body. And it's dream on the star, right? So I see that body as, you know, a star. We are a star, right? With the head, the two legs, and the two arms, right? So dream of what it is that you will have once you find that inner balance, because the card that came with the reading, of course, is justice. Okay. So I think that is, oh, yeah. And within, I get this little triangle that is very blue, right? But the way it came up was like this, and it made me think of a cup, right? And it's in the within. This is just a reminder of finding that spiritual strength inside yourself. Okay. Trust that your spirit guides know what they're doing and that your emotions will be supported by the right people. That is the messages I have for you. And Miss Tarady says, wow, my husband is young. Did Jonathan just call me old? No.
And that's where I started laughing. I was like, oh my gosh.
Thinking, right? Not you.
No.
We're all old. Kidding me? Yeah. So much information. That's the thing I love about charms. There's a lot of information that comes out when we're doing these readings. I mean, think about each one of these readings end up being quite a bit longer than just pulling cards, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the idea of being able to see exactly how it lands, because having that camera face down and seeing like how it lands, you can see the story.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, many of us are visual people, so I know when I offer readings for people, I usually have two cameras, you know, one facing me, one facing down, so they can, like you said, see the story unfold.
Well, and kind of half thinking about doing it, but I didn't want to be the only one doing it with you guys not being able to do it. So
yeah, I thought about
it. Then all of us having cameras, it'd get really messy in here.
Yeah, with 3 different people for sure. There was something else I was going to mention. Oh, I know. Also, allowing someone to see it fall the way that we actually pull it. I find the querent often will see details and symbolism in something that we didn't, because obviously,
Right.
like, we're so far removed from their situation, we can't possibly know and see everything. But I have had many people come back to me and say, you know, just so you know, your reading was spot on, but also I wanted to point out this, and how it all ties in. And, you know, there was a ladybug that showed up, and just so you know, when that shows up in my life, I mean, like, it was this whole rabbit hole of stuff that, like, I could never have possibly picked up on. And I was like, wow. So these layered readings really do offer so much more depth and touch on so many more facets of what's going on in that person's life. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, thank you too for coming and playing with me today.
Yes.
What do you have?
Thank you for inviting me. I really did have fun.
Oh, good. Yeah. This is for those of you who don't know, this is Hershe's first time doing public readings with charms. So
you did amazing.
Well, I've done them with Jane, but I've never done them with like this kind of, like, you guys have been doing it for years. I mean, like, I'm brand new, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated. That's why when I'm over here like, oh my god,
you would never do it. You're natural.
I love this. I want to do it again.
Yes,
I want to do it again, and I want to try to layer it like you guys are layering it. Like, I see Jane do it too. I'm like intimidated by that, but I want to try to layer it with cards, and I don't know. I've got ogums, and I've got ruins and dominoes, and
you don't always have to throw a handful, right? You could do a reading and then pull individual charms.
Oh, I don't. I just grab what I pull literally one at a time until they say stop. I never know what I'm just grabbing one at a time until they tell me to stop. It could
I grab
any number, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I maybe need to get the guts up. I don't have the guts to grab a handful.
No, you did fabulous. Like, honestly, Hershe, like, watch this back, and you would never know, like, your confidence. I mean, you're already a reader, right? So you're just adding this to your toolkit. And I think that like, you've got more than intuition. Like, you've got guides, you know? And so, I think that you're a natural, and that this is only going to grow for you. And I'm always happy to read with you. Anytime that you want to do this again. What do I have coming up? Thursday, which is this coming Thursday, September 26th, on my channel, Roots&Waves, we have episode number 3 of Beyond the Veil. So that's Rain from Spiritual Rain, and I created a show, Beyond the Veil, and we take psychology and tarot, and we mash it up, and we deliver to you for each episode a topic of psychology, and we dive into it, and we have a discussion, and we invite the chat to be a participant in it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's insightful, and it just allows Rain and I to take our passion of psychology and tarot and share it with the audience. So yeah, if you want to join us over there on Thursday, it's 1:00 p.m. Eastern time. So however that transfers to your neck of the woods there. And yeah, on my channel, definitely live readings such as these charm readings will be coming up very, very soon. And I just posted a live showing 2 new deck releases, which is Council of the Horses Oracle and the Stained Glass Tarot. So those are in pre-order status right now. And so if you want to see what those cards look like, head on over there and check out the live, because I show each card. And that's about it for now. And I had so much fun. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Miss Tarot D. I'm going to use my medication this charm. The Modium will tell me that you're constricted. The aspirin tells me you have a lot on your mind. See, it can work.
Absolutely.
And then,
you could.
Don't ask me about my birth control pills, Jonathan. Don't worry, I won't. So, Hershe, what do you have coming up on your channel?
Oh, not a lot. I'm on half medical break with Thomas in case he needs anything. I'm trying to be available if he needs me. I do have something for tomorrow. I'm thinking about a spirit box Saturday for tomorrow. Monday is meta messages. Tuesday is another pre-record with PD on our new channel, which is Keep Hope Alive Psychic Investigations. And then Wednesday, I have another show with Sharon at 1 p.m. And from there, I'm pretty open. So I've got lots of openings.
Thank you. I see that Asphasia Rising's here. I'm saying happy birthday.
Oh,
aloha.
Beth. Hey, Beth.
Yeah. So next week, I only have one thing on my agenda for you two. I mean, my week is full, but on the 25th, I will be having a live with Betsy and Tanis here on my channel. We're going to be talking about, truthfully, we're still talking about what we're going to talk about, but we're thinking, you know, either guides or spirit seeds. I feel like a lot of us have already talked about a lot of that stuff. So we might ask the audience what they might want to talk about too. And then, see, a week from Monday on the 30th, I will be a guest over on Bobby's channel, Robert.
Robert.
His last name.
Robert Fierro Taro.
Fierro, thank you. Yes, I will be over there as a guest, and I will be the one of his guests for the Behind the Cards series. So.
I love that series. Mm. Cool.
That's what's coming up for me for September. I'm sure there'll be some stuff in October too. Yeah, the one that I know, there's two that I know of. October 4th, I'll be doing another live with Heather. We're going to be doing some more art. And then October 17th, I will be live with Linda over on Linda's channel again. So that is what I got coming up so far. I mean, don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like all the channels. That way you will know when we're going live. Yep. Thank you two for being amazing guests. And I want to thank the best chatters for bringing it as always.
Yes.
Until next time.
Thank you for all the links and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And please come back, especially if you like playing with charms. Put in the discussion comments like what kind of charms you like using. Are there any systems that you use specifically? Did you get the Oracle dice? I want to know. So thank you everyone for being here, and until next time, aloha and a hui ho.
Bye.